Now we need to add in a countdown timer. So let's add in a function. We'll call this countdown timer. And we'll make that equal to, for example, let wait equal to skaction.wait for duration. Then we'll make it 1 second. Then we're going to say let count down is equal to skaction.runBlock. Okay, and then within here, we're going to do a couple things. First of all, we're going to say countdown var is equal to countdown var -1. Then we're going to say if countdown var is less than or equal to 10, and we're going to say if it's less than or equal to 10, because remember we set it to 13, if you remember that. Well, we're gonna give it 3 seconds of grace before we actually go and do the math here. Then we also need to say if is alive is double equal to true. We're only going to make sure that this countdown happens if it's equal to true. Okay, and you want to make sure that your spacing is correct as well. We're going to say lbl main dot font size is equal to 200 because we want it to be bigger. We're going to go to lbl main dot text is equal to, and we'll add in our brackets here, and we'll say that this is countdown var. All right, and we'll say if countdown var is less than or equal to 0. Right, so if we've expired here, we'll say that this is, and by the way, you need a space in there. We'll say self dot reset the game. Okay, make sure you're outside the brackets here, the run block bracket, and we'll say let sequence is equal to skaction.sequence, and we'll do wait, then count down the sk action. Then we're going to say self dot run action is equal to sk action dot repeat action, and then we'll go to sequence, and the count will be countdown var. So that way we're only doing the repeat action the amount of times for the countdown var here. So let's take a look at that. Okay, and we need to call this, so we'll call this countdown timer. Let's run that here. So it should wait 3 seconds before it gives you a timer here. So it says tap the white square. Okay, then we go 10, 9, 8, 7, and we're just going to let it run out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, 0. Perfect. Okay, and at this point in time, you see that it stops, which is a good thing. And then we need to go to reset the game here. Okay, and in reset the game, we need to just simply go and reset the game. So let's say let wait is equal to skaction.wait for duration, and we'll wait 3 seconds before resetting the game. We're going to say let the game scene is equal to game scene, and this is the scene that we're running right now. So we're just going to reset our scene here, and we're going to go to CG size is going to go to self.size. All right, and we'll say let the transition equal to sk transition dot, and we'll do actually crossfade with duration. Since we're fading in the squares, it makes sense to do a fade in because they complement each other. And that sounds kind of silly, and you might think it's, something that you shouldn't really do, but you believe it or not, their transitions and everything should complement everything else in the game. If you're making a game that fades to black every single scene transition, and something really important happens in the game, let's say it's like a story-based game and it fades to white, that's going to tell the user that it's, in the player, that something is different. So even something as simple as transition, you want to think of how it affects and enhances the gameplay. So we're going to go to the game scene dot scale mode is equal to sk scene scale mode dot aspect fill. This will make sure that it looks proper. All right, then we're going to say let scene change is equal to skaction dot run block. And within this block, we're going to say that this is going to go to self dot scene. We're going to go to self dot scene dot view dot present scene, and we're going to present the game scene and the transition. Okay. And then we need to put this in a sequence. Sequence is equal to skaction.sequence. And the sequence is, of course, going to be wait, then scene change. Yeah, there we go. Then we're going to go to self.runAction. And this action, of course, is going to be the sk action.repeat action. We're going to repeat the sequence a total of one time and one time only. Okay? So that's all we're pretty much going to do to reset the game here. So let's call, and so we've called reset the game here, but let's move up all the way to the top. And whenever you reset the game, you have to make sure that, for example, we reset game variables on start. And you do need to do this because if you don't reset the game variables, if you don't reset the game variables, then what will happen is that your things might not work. So, for example, we need to add an countdown var, and I like to just copy everything here. We also need to, we might as well reset both of these as well, even though the color square is a little bit less important, but we also need to reset these. So I just like to add these in here, and it comes up with a warning, and I know that it says that here, but you shouldn't have a variable here. You shouldn't declare a variable the same name as a global variable. And this is all we're going to do. So all we're doing here is we're just resetting the variables so that it works here. All right. This concludes the tutorial.